kind of pinpointing on that.
If we're to get support for instance, for the infrastructure issues that are created by more and more tourists, then we need the support of Manatee County as well as of the state. So those conversations have now begun. It is difficult to find a balance. We have lost over 20% of our residents in the last 12 years. There was an article in the newspaper this week about how we were losing residents to Longboat Key because of the big houses, et cetera, issue in our city. And so we see it. We don't want to lose. If we continue to lose our residents at the rate we've been losing them, we will be Disney within Disneyland, or just a theme park within the next probably 10 years. That requires that we have balance. So it is very difficult. So what we're trying to say is, how can we handle responsibly, handle the increase in tourism? How can we balance it? And this is the hardest part coming up. How do we balance it with increased residents on the island so that we have a harmonious situation? I agree that some of the screams of tourists go home have been way out of line. And I also agree that the residents' concerns are real and serious.
I think the conception that people have of the islanders against the visitors is very incorrect. What I have come down to realize is the islanders do not disrespect or hate a visitor to the island. They hate they can't control the situation with so many visitors and no place to put them, no place to accommodate them. And that's become a big issue. And as chair of the Island Traffic and Congestion, I have a great group of people working with wonderful suggestions. And we're trying to find overflow parking. We're trying to find better signage. We're working with, and I always forget the term, it's in that little phone, what do you call it, that iPad thing? It's
an
a
app.
program, an app.
An app.
That will help people locate parking spots. There's all kinds of work being done by the residents of Holmes Beach to facilitate a better trip for the islanders and for the visitors. Nobody wants to be stuck in that traffic. Now we got a tiny little island and we don't have a lot of choices as to where to put people. But there are a lot of work doing, trying to revamp Manatee Public Beach to make more parking spaces in there, but that has to be looked at as an engineering type thing. So that I want to discourage people thinking that the islanders don't want people to come there. I was a visitor. I was a tourist when I first visited Anna Maria. I mean, I'm a Floridian, but I'm a tourist. And I don't hate them. I just hate that when they all come at one time, at different peak times, we just have a horrendous situation for both the residents and the visitors. So we'll work on that, and we're going to make inroads, and we're making them now.
I think that the committee has been doing a tremendous job of coming up with ideas, and I definitely think we have to open up better dialogue with the county, and you tap into the resources that they have available to us. Some of which can be, they have traffic cams. I don't know if it's FDOT or if there's some of them in the county, but we could perhaps make that available as an app, as that was discussed. You can also go to Google and you can look at traffic patterns. If you go to a map, you can ask the traffic to overlay it. If we educate people about this, I think it would be very useful and very beneficial. And I'm sure that this will come up again, but I'm also very pro moving the real estate companies away from the Saturday-only check-ins so as to stop the intensity that we have on the island Saturday mornings and Saturday afternoons when the Publix fills up and you can't even park in the Publix parking lot. So if we get the real estate companies to agree to maybe move some of their check-ins to Friday or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that will help a lot. But we have to work with the real estate companies in order to do that.
When I first started as a commissioner, there was very bad communication with the county, And it's taken a lot of work and a lot of years and a lot of me going in town meetings. I know Gene does it too now, to get some communication, get a relationship with the county. We do have 2 commissioners, county commissioners that are from the island, and one that lives in West Bradenton. It has taken a lot of work, but I think it could be better. One of the things I did do is I lobbied behind the scenes hard to get Jean on the TDC board. So she's on the TDC board, which is actually the board that spends our tourist tax dollars. So I'm glad that Jean is there and speaking up for the island. I think she needs some support in doing that. Another thing that I've done is as chairman of the board, commission, and vice mayor, I broke into a lot of citizen action committees, and we passed a lot of ordinances that have helped. We passed the living area ratio that has made the big box rental houses smaller. We had some other ordinances. We talked to our new police chief and got a lot of enforcement rules in place. I'm not sure what Carol is unhappy about, what she thinks needs to be changed, or what we're not doing correctly. I'd love to hear that. But it's a little bit of everything. She talks about this island congestion meeting. Well, sometimes talk is cheap, and I actually do things. I actually go out there and do them. Right now in development as we speak, I have an app. I have an app doing these things that we're talking about. It should be probably coming out in about 3 weeks that has traffic management on it. It has weather on it. It has a calendar on it. It has ways of communicating to the public how the traffic, what the situation is like out on Anna Maria. I talked to the county already about it. I talked to the county about the cameras. And they're, it's all about expense and cost. I don't see them moving very fastly. So sometimes, in this job, you need to take things into your hand and get them done and just talk about them. So I hope we're moving in the right direction, because it seems like we're all on the same page, but just actually doing it.
Like one said, we didn't have places for these people to be staying in. We have way too many places. It was taken away from our mom and pop hotels, the condominiums and stuff like this. As they called them, the big box houses that was built in residential areas. So we've got many motels running around all through Holmes Beach. That has been a major problem. I was against it from the day this thing whole started back in 2004. But I had a commission that would not listen. They were pro-development. And they stayed with it until we made a change last year. And just like Commissioner Zaccanino said, we've been working on a lot of things. In the last year, we've made more progress in changing our ordinances and everything else to bring things in line so we could have the contractors working with us and the real estate agents. Real estate agents really stepped up in the last year and a half to come out with things to help us to accommodate people who's coming here. But when they come here, we do have a traffic problem. And so it's just one of the parts of being over-advertised around the world to get people to come here. And that is, when we have people come here, we're not against the people coming here. It's to show respect for our residents coming here. A lot of, not the long-termers, but a lot of times your short day trippers and stuff, they have some bad habits when they come to the beach. And a lot of the residential people are upset with that. And so that's one of the things with our law enforcement. It's a new chief we got in, bringing things around the way it should have been governed by the law. And so that's where we're standing now.